Yes, indeed. Welcome to another episode of the LANCESCURV show. This is not going to be a long one, but we're going to follow up with one that's much longer, but some bits of information just cannot wait. Lots of times we've heard the term hidden in plain sight, hidden in plain view. And those who are involved in decadent things love to do it that way, things that we wouldn't notice. But today we have Sister Hope and we have Sister Keisha that are going to point a few things out right now as to what's going on in the world hidden in plain view. And the proof is right there if you can see the banner and look up close. And I'm going to introduce them in. How are you sisters both doing today? I want you just to have the floor and just roll in on it and go hard. And we are going to follow up with another show possibly tonight, hopefully tonight. It'll go more in depth, but we're going to give you a taste of it now. Sister Hope, Sister Keisha, the floor is yours. Welcome on in.
Yeah, so I have my niece with us this evening, Brother Lance. My niece is Keisha.
Yes.
For the viewers that's listening, I'm very close to my family, and we talk a lot. So my niece is aware. I'm always following cases as far as missing children. I always have concerns. You know, I'm always trying to enlighten them. I'm just that aunt that does things like that. So last year, you know, I reached out to you as far as the young lady that was here in the Florida area. And I also shared some content with you as far as the area where I came from, Virginia, with the young lady and the baby missing. So it's a lot of different things going on with sex trafficking, sex harvesting. It's a lot. So my niece brought something to my attention earlier today, and we was kind of scrolling through it together, and my mouth just kind of dropped. And I'm like, hold on, I remember that. And so she kind of like sung a little song or whatever. And I'm just like, let me look into this a little more. So as I'm kind of looking into it, she's sending me, you know, links. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Brother Lance. Better yet, I'm going to bring you on Brother Lance show with me so you can give your perception of what you think is what you have eyes on. So if you don't mind, I'm going to let my niece have the floor at this moment to just share a little bit. And another individual that we're in contact with, we'll bring her back at a later time so she can give her insight. Keisha?
All right. Yeah, so I got up this morning and first thing I decided to do, get on Facebook. So I see they're talking about Wayfair and their child sex trafficking schemes. So I look into it because they're showing cabinets or shelves, pillows, and throws with different kids' names, but you know, different names for the same items, but they're expensive prices, like between $10,000 and $15,000 for a cabinet or for a pillow. And I had one in general. It's this pillow I was looking at myself, and the pillow was $10,000 to $74.99. So I'm looking and I'm like, what is this pillow made of to be $10,000? So I look in the description and it's just a polyester pillow for $10,000 to $74.99. So I go and I'm like, okay, I make my post on Facebook and I share this picture. And when I go back to Wayfair, I go back to the same picture and click on it. And now it says the picture and the pillow is $75.99. So it went from $10,000 to $75.99. I'm not sure if it's because I shared it on Facebook and kind of brought attention to the page or what, but somehow it just went back to $75. And they had the same thing of different kids' blankets, which are $10,000. But if you click on the blanket to get ready to purchase it, it goes down to $100. But it stated that it's $10,000. So it's just certain things on here. They have certain, like you can look up these kids' names by like a SKU. It's a SKU number where if you go to a certain site, which we'll get more in detail with that with the next podcast, but you go to a different site, which is no longer available, and you put in the SKU number, it'll bring up some little kids or any type of like missing people, but you also compare that SKU number to the Wayfair site and the SKU numbers are the same. So how would a person and an item as far as a cabinet or a pillow or a throw have the same SKU number? It just brings you to question what is actually going on. And people shop on Wayfair, which is, what's their slogan? Wayfair, we have just what you need. I mean, is that what people and you harvesting people, sex trafficking? What is it that you actually need? That's $10,000
Code
on
language.
Wayfair.
That's definite code language. Let me just say, I'm not some knowledgeable person on all things internet, but to me, that is part of it. And they're using something called cellophanes. It's an overlay of information that's clear in most parts, except for the parts where they have the price. So if you click on it again, you'll go right to the real site where you see the regular price, but the overlay was what you initially saw. And those who are pedophiles looking for something, talking about we got what you need, they're going to understand what that price is really for a human being, for a young girl, a young boy. So you'll see it when you get there, and then you click on it to confirm, but it actually takes you somewhere else. You're seeing an overlay that disappears once you click on it. And for the people in the know, those are the ones who will know that that first thing you see is what you want. Then, hey, I'm going for it. And they know how to go elsewhere to get into contact the people who would provide not the furniture, but for the little girl or little boy. That's just my opinion from what I see when you explain that. But go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I also see they had a picture of a 2-piece cactus wall set for $99,999.99. 2 pictures of a cactus is not worth $100,000 to me. But the SKU on that one and the SKU on this picture of these little girls have the same SKU number. So it's just a bunch of stuff. Or they have a cabinet named Samaya 5. And it's a girl named Samaya that's missing. And the cabinet in her name is $12,899. It's just crazy that this stuff is happening in plain view on the site, that people can go buy rugs or furniture or whatever, but they're actually still selling kids or whoever on the site. It's crazy.
It's very sinister. It's very sinister.
And they also have blankets with little kids' names on them that read that they're $10,000. But like I said, once you click on them, it'll say $104. It'll have like from them being 1 to 12 months, and it'll have their name imprinted on it. And it's crazy that little kids, adults, kids, whoever, it's just crazy that they're being sold right in front of our eyes on these sites that we probably shop on daily or shop on regularly.
Mm-hmm. And as I was mentioning earlier in our conversation, Keisha, Wayfair is not like in a high-end, furniture place, like a high-end where you would get the lavish rugs or the most expensive rugs. It's not high-end like that. So why would anything on their site be that expensive? So me just kind of looking in, I really think that it's some, real sinister things going on. And I think that it needs to, come out. Whatever they're doing, it needs to be exposed because, again, we do have people that's actually missing. We do have people that come up missing every day. And is this the way that they're doing it? Is this the way that they're trading them? Is this the way that they're selling them? We have to stop being so distracted. And it's just crazy how you came about that. I'm happy that you shared that with me because, you can get up there and you can stroll all day with your eyes see, mine may not. So I'm happy that you brought this, to my attention as to where I'm always helping, trying to, get a kid home or looking out for a child. This is so much bigger than what all of us can imagine. But if we notify one another and let each other know what's going on, we can pay attention to the things that is in plain sight. Because I'm just sitting here just straight disturbed by this. It kind of reminds me, as I was mentioning, I know it was the Pizzagate and there was another scandal going on. I can't even think of the name of it, but it's so similar to that, to where they was ordering children through toppings on pizzas. They was ordering children through what you wanted on a hot dog. It's very similar to that.
That is insane. That is the world that we live in. It's crazy.
Yes.
But you see, the thing is that
it was actually.
No, go ahead.
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. It was
go ahead.
A Wayfair worker that said that they wouldn't be surprised if they were, sex trafficking because they had these heavy boxes and they were just heavy for no reason, for the items that were purchased, and they put on them ASAPs, which meant that those had to be loaded faster and shipped out faster than regular packages. So what was in those packages? It just makes you wonder for $10,000, $15,000, and $99,000. I've never purchased a rug for $99,000. It's insane to think of what they're doing with all of these missing people that they can't seem to find or whatever, or they go unresolved, unsolved cases. It's crazy.
And see, it's to their advantage to not be high end, because if this was like a Macy's website or some big retail, store website, it would be more noticeable. It would be more high profile. Somebody would catch it faster because they say, no, not that, you or anybody else catching it, it's not below you. You'd catch it anyway, but it would have more traffic and it would probably blow up even more. And we have to look at, okay, let's look at Wayfair compared to, I don't really go in these places that are high end, but a high end place, it's just two different crowds that are going there. Maybe the person who goes to Wayfair still goes to the expensive place, but their aim and their the people who that they know will shop there probably don't have the high end money. So they're not going to be reporting it as fast, or it's just not going to be out there because it's Wayfair. You know what I mean? So it's perfect to fly below the radar as far as I could see. But those similarities are just too uncanny. And of course, somebody in the chat room, they basically said the person Samaya isn't missing anymore. She's on Facebook. So what about the other ones? And why with the price, even if it wasn't matching the names, why the price? So why can't there be, with this small amount of similarity, a federal investigation into that? Just on site alone, it doesn't look right. Whether one person is returned back home or not, that doesn't look right. Just on that hunch alone. And when we know these things are right in our face, when you look at the fact that there's thousands and thousands of black young girls missing in Washington, D.C. and across the country. But over there was such a hub. Where are they now? Just because the next Super Bowl or heavyweight boxing championship fight came around, or some gossip or whatever come around, why do we forget these things? Where are they now? So they, the same way we're distracted on the smartphone and doing other things and our minds are distracted, it can be in our face and most of us won't see. But thanks to the both of you, look, I know nothing ain't getting past Hope. You know what I mean? But ain't nothing getting past. She gonna question it. Excuse me. I know. I've been around you enough. I know. That's right. And you're gonna recheck it too. After you done checked it, you're gonna recheck it.
Right.
You got to do that though.
Right.
Right.
Well, my niece has most definitely been doing her homework on it today. We have been discussing it somewhat throughout the evening, and it's quite a few names, and I'm just like, wow, let me go back up here. So the site where she had found it on, I actually went on the site, and I'm just, like I said, I'm sitting here just straight disturbed. Mouth is on the floor because it's actual names. So where she's taking her notes, and I mean, she's a lot further into it than I am, and I'm just like, wow, all those names, like, this is just crazy. Faith, I mean, I'm sorry, Keisha, how many names was it?
I think I had 17 names that matched just cabinets and shelves.
Wow.
So I went through, I'm still researching, so I don't have them fully researched, but I'm still looking into it. And I'm like, that's crazy to have a lady that is still missing. Her name was connected to a cabinet. And I'm like, are you serious? And then when you look into her, like, whatever happened to her becoming missing, there's so many different stories, but they say, oh, it was so it's too crazy to even think about all of this stuff happening. Just like, how many other sites, how many other companies or other people, elitists or whoever that's kidnapping these people and doing whatever type of torture or whatever they want to do to them. Just imagine all of that going on. Just touching it at Wayfair.
Right. I'm sure Wayfair isn't the only company. It's other companies for sure. I'm sure that's partaking in it. It's just outright diabolical and sinister. It's just very sinister. It's sickening. But I appreciate you sending that to me, and I am gonna most definitely, look into it. It's just wow. Well, Brother Lance, we most definitely wanted to share that with you.
Thank you.
We're going to look into it some more, and we'll most definitely be coming back on. Like I said, the young lady that actually posted it. She did make contact with my niece, and
Beautiful.
she did say, you know, that she would be willing,
Oh, I would
you
love
know,
that.
to come on. So
Yes.
once I speak with her and get more insight, and you know, we'll most definitely reach back out to you. But
Wow, I'm
it's just
so
kind of, you know, fresh. So
Yeah.
once we get more information, we will most definitely, because you know how I am. I'm all about
exactly.
parenting and saving the
Exactly.
babies, and you know, it's just eye opening. I mean, with all this technology, let them tell it that's out. All these cameras, you know, my niece to tell you, I was just in the DC area several years back, you know, and I came back telling her, I just don't understand. I mean, once you get to Northern Virginia into the DC, the Baltimore area, cameras is everywhere,
Wow.
everywhere. How is it that these girls are coming up missing and it's not on
Organized.
camera?
Exactly.
I mean, my niece was with me, Keisha. I don't know if you recall the young lady that lost the babies. It had circulated all over Facebook, to where a young lady, you know, she had kind of escaped from a place where I was working called Community Service Board. She just wasn't, you know, trying to get the help, and she was heavily pregnant, like close to 9 months pregnant, and she was actually in front of the police department as well as the library, laying on the bench, like heavily pregnant in almost like 30-degree weather, right?
wow.
In front of the police department. But when these fuckers are involved, okay, they want to look past you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Her story was so freaking horrific. When we actually got in and helped her, her story was so horrific. The company that I worked for had serviced her. Okay. And I'm telling you, they failed this young lady. Okay. They failed this young lady. I mean, it was just wasn't her. It was her brother. This girl had, I think it was her 7th or 8th baby. Cameras is directly across the street. This girl laid in a ditch, you all, a ditch in front of a Wawa's. Her water broke inside the Wawa's, and because she wasn't spending money, they made her exit outside of the Wawa. She laid in a ditch in the wee hours of the morning and gave birth to a child outside. Okay.
Wow.
And they tried to come and tell us what they wanted. And I'm sitting here like, piss the hell off. You got street lights with cameras on them. You got Wawas that have cameras. You have a bank across the street, a couple of them with cameras. And you mean to tell me this girl laid out here in the street like this and had a baby? And she kept arguing that it was not a girl, that it was a boy. They tried to convince her that she had a girl. She was very adamant that she had a boy. But I'm sitting here like, all these freaking cameras, how the hell did this shit happen? So the girls that was assisting me, we was dealing with the news at that time and dealing with the police, and all they could say is, no, it wasn't a boy. It was a female fetus, and unfortunately the female fetus passed. And the girl kept saying to us, they're lying, they're lying. I'm telling you, it was a boy. So it just makes you wonder, like, it's people that's sitting high, okay, that has way of a bigger agenda that we can even fathom. But if we keep accepting what they telling us, okay, and not truly open up our eyes and see shit for what it really is, we'll be doomed. We'll be doomed.
Yep. While we're distracted. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's cameras everywhere, you are, everywhere. There's no way that these people are coming up missing, okay? And nobody knows where they're at, okay? They're doing a whole lot, and they're working underground. They're working underground. They're working in code through these promo codes through Wayfair, okay? They're staying on code, and that's how they're doing the shit that they're doing.
Taking our children.
You know what?
Yes.
Take heed for this.
Promo code. I'm glad you just said a promo code.
Yeah, that's how you would get in. So for example, I'm assuming if you wanted to get in and you wanted to purchase that $10,000 cabinet or whatever, right? They'll only let you purchase the cabinet, but if you actually wanted that child that name is under, you will probably have to have some type of promo code. It's almost like you will have to be like what you call it, I'm a kind of blanker, a member or something. Yeah. A member, yeah.
Well, listen,
And I assure you, we'll be hearing about some more companies. I don't think it's Wayfair by itself.
Oh, no, they can't be by themselves. Plus, they got to be working along with the hospitals and the police department. And, you know, you can't have all this stuff going on in a place where they got people wearing masks like this. They got us under control like this. And we're so distracted with all this foolishness they're putting out there, but we can't see what's in front of us. So even when you see something, you know, there's a big difference between seeing and looking. People see things and it goes through one ear or one eye and out the other, if I could say it like that. But people do not look. You must look. Looking is an aggressive action. Seeing, you could be zoned and see something that doesn't absorb. And you must look at things, look at them and try to figure it out. I remember when we were hanging out at Baisley Park in Jamaica, Queens, and it was by a lake. A bunch of us, you know, we weren't smoking or drinking or whatever, but we were just chilling. It was kind of cold. And we saw a white man pull up. It was fairly dark, but where you can see enough. And then we saw another woman, a black woman, pull up next to him. And then we saw the woman get in the back seat while letting the kid in the front seat. And then they talked a little bit, and then she got out and got into a car. And this guy started up his vehicle and started to go in reverse. And we already knew what it was. Because back in them crack days, you know, sometimes you had mothers who would, you know, give their kids away for certain reasons. And so the guy that I was with and the other guys I was with, he was driving, he got up on him. And he pushed that kid out the car so fast because he knew what was going on, rolled up on the sidewalk. I know he messed up his suspension and drove off. I mean, he sped off. He didn't even care that door was open. He just shoved the kid out there and whatever. And the mother was cursing. And we knew what it was. And so a lot of us jumped out like we know exactly. We called the police. Not that we believe in them. And not that we were going to beat down a woman. But, you know, we said, you know, at least do that. They got to follow. And we were going to follow through. And then we kept going over there like, maybe this can be a designated spot for this kind of thing. So every now and then I said, what y'all doing? We hanging out here? Well, let's go over there and chill out. And we never saw it again. But those things happen. And unfortunately, there's a lot of us who are compromised, who go in for stuff like that for whatever reason. It's bad enough, you know, and it's your decision if you prostitute yourself. I don't know why you're doing it. I can't knock you on that. But when you bring a child into something like that, now you need your head chopped off because that's a whole different level. You know what I mean? If you choose to do it, you know what you're getting into as an adult. But you're going to bring a child into that? And it is real. It is real. It's real. Like they say down here in Central Florida in Orlando, they have a place called Wet and Wild. They tore it down and they made a hotel there, but it's a water park right there on the International Drive and Universal Boulevard. And driving a bus, I knew a lot of the people who worked there and did security, and they would tell me the pedophiles were brazen. They would come into the theme park because they're adults, they can come in there, but you knew what they were about. And they would sit near the bathrooms and just sit there on their phone, watching their phone, but clicking pictures as the little kids came out. Now, since it's a water park, little girls and little boys got their little swim trunks on. And you know how sometimes you get a wedgie, you know, and they picking it out with a, these guys are sitting there trying to catch them kind of shots. But if you can't prove it, you say, well, I wasn't holding the phone up to take pictures. I was holding it up. I was talking to someone. So it was a fine line, but you know what it is. What you need is a second set of security that you pay under the table to just snatch them and bust them up. You know what I mean? Because they're brazen in what they do. There's a lot of symbolism. There are symbols that they have that let you know this is a kind of a pedophile spot. I did a picture of Anthony Bourdain on my website on the art section, and because they were trying to say that they killed him because he was about to bust some pedophile rings. So I put that up on there. And it's just amazing how sophisticated they are to fly below the radar while we're looking at the next reality TV show on our TV or on our phone. And we don't know. So just like, and I'm going to end after this, just like the guys who hustle drugs on the street corner, if they don't know you, you the cops. And until then, everybody's the cops. If I don't know you, man. You can't figure it out. Listen, everybody's the cops. So that way nobody busted me. You know what I mean? So when you don't know a person out here, they could look. And oh man, I have to say one more thing. I'm sorry. Working in the jail, the protective custody area usually has nothing but pedophiles in it. If you want to see some people who look so trustworthy, so honest, I mean, you hand them your paycheck and say, hold this for me until next week. I know you're not going to do. These guys, their demeanor, everything So all I say for anybody, and I would not get insulted if I was in a situation where you say, let me go outside and check, I got to take my garbage out real quick. And I'm in there. Nah, I'll do it and you stay in. I know it's not in my heart, but I don't want anybody to ever think, and I wouldn't want anybody to falsely accuse me of anything. And I don't get mad if you say, listen, I got to put my kids away. Well, no problem. This is protocol. Don't even trust me. You can trust me, but don't trust me, because don't trust nobody, because everybody could be the cops. Anybody could be a pedophile. Anybody sitting your kid on their lap, they should not be, well, I'm the uncle. No, I don't give a damn. We don't know.
Right.
So I don't mind submitting to the same laws. I have nothing exclusive with a family member or anything. No. Hey, no, you go on a little bit. I'll be here. I'll look out for them. No. Unless it's life and death circumstances where it just happened that way, let's do everything right. And let the kids get used to everything right. Because if you get the kid used to being on the uncle's lap or even the father's lap, the father should not have a little girl, little boy up in their lap. Maybe around the mother, safely on the edge of their knee, but not down in nobody's lap, because the next person who has something on their mind in a sinister way, it will feel normal to the kid that, well, I'm always on somebody's lap, because they don't know. You see, they don't know, but you got to know. That's why I admire you so much, Hope. Ain't nothing getting past you.
Right. And one more thing, Brother Lance, and I'm gonna let you go. I gotta go in here and put something on my stomach. I ain't ate all day. I've been running. I've been going down my timeline. It's a little off subject, but I'm very serious about this. I'm speaking directly to the sisters. Okay, I'm speaking directly to the single fathers.
Tell it.
I want you all really to consider this. We've been speaking homeschooling for quite some time. And I know everybody don't have time because of their jobs. They don't have time because of, things that they have going on. All right. Your children are first and foremost. And with me saying that, everything got shut down when the numbers with this pandemic was at a minimum. Okay. The numbers are growing. Okay. The pandemic is taking a different turn, a different approach. So as I'm going down my timeline, a lot of people is concerned or have mixed feelings about sending their babies. Hear what I said, their babies, their children, their offspring, their starseeds back to school. You should not have mixed feelings when it comes to what the Creator has blessed you with. Okay?
Exactly.
Parenting consists of nurturing. It consists of protection, okay? No one is going to take care of your baby like you. I wouldn't put that much trust in a fucking teacher. I wouldn't put that much fucking trust in a principal. I don't put that much trust in no fucking institution.
Tell it.
Okay? They made you sit at home with your child toward the latter part of March going into April and May until school was out. However your babies got their studies, okay, let's put the demands on them. Do not send your child out in harm's way. I have seen it and I have shared it. They have put 5G towers up at these schools, around the schools, all of that. Yes, our babies unfortunately have to go online to learn, okay? But you all, it's a lot that we can order, okay? Outside of the indoctrination that we can teach our own babies. Let's get into the habit of homeschooling, okay? I might sound crazy as hell and I might be reaching, but the best thing I could say right now, you're going to send your babies to these institutions to sit, to be separated. They're going to be sitting around germs. You don't know what these teachers are doing or how they're doing it. They're going to be bringing shit into these places with your babies around. Your babies cannot fight off what you can fight off. They need to be home. Don't send your baby out there, okay? They do not look. They know exactly what they're doing. They act as if they don't have a handle on it. They do. This is deliberate. Do not send your baby out there in harm's way. Don't. They're going to have them at them damn computers. They're going to have them all around. My frequency is going to bounce off of me onto your child, so on. Okay, they're going to have the children all up in the school twitching and shit. Keep your babies home collectively. Okay, If New York not sending their kids to school, Virginia don't be needing to send their kids. If Florida not sending their kids, California, okay? It's time for the demands to stop being put on us, and it's time for these motherfuckers to meet our demands, okay? The numbers are up by the 10,000s here in Florida. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. Here, they said heat killing. It's been hot as hell down here in Florida. How the hell is the heat killing when the numbers is up by the 10,000? They shut some shit down. Let's shut it down. Do not, and I know it's quite a few people up here from different states. Pass it on. Do not send your child, okay, to school. I suggest you start researching on how to get some homeschooling material in, some curriculum in to where the government ain't riding your damn back. And if the motherfuckers riding your back, do not fucking fold. Okay, I do not feel safe sending my child into harm's way, and that's just what it is, okay? Stop negotiating, stop doing all of that shit. Stand your fucking ground when it comes to your prized possession, which is your child. Don't let nobody dictate and control the narrative of what came from you. Learn to utilize your rights. Do not send your babies out here in harm's way. Collectively, we don't have to send our babies back to this bullshit to make them even sicker. And then they come home from being exposed and they make you sick, and so on and so on and so on. This is pure gentrification, my people. Let's not send our babies out here into this bullshit. Let's not. With that being said, K-Pool, you have anything else you need to say? I'm sorry to use your little nickname, baby. I'm sorry. Do forgive me. Brother Lance, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, in the spirit that you have. And anytime I'm like a fireman for you both and all who are here. If something needs to get out, we just keep putting it out. That's how you ride the wave of the Google algorithm. You strike fast, you strike first. And later on, if you want to come back on, we'll do that again. I'm still going to do the conference line tonight. Like I said, we're going to keep things going, and we're going to do more and do more effective. That's my purpose, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm glad you're saying that about the schooling at home. And you can collectively do it. You can do it at one person's home collectively with a few mothers who may be home, and take turns and rotate, or do, we can pool our resources and have more than one. And even you can get out of your house if now the next turn is over by the next person's house, you know where you will be, but you'll be somewhere else to not feel so quarantined. You know what I mean? And it will bring a bond that's even stronger. And you look out for each other and say, hey, we did this. I got a van. Well, I'm going shopping tomorrow. Do you all want to pile up and we all go to the van together? Go to the store together? Safety in numbers. Even then, when they want to snatch us and do things to us, then now, that kind of protects because of safety in numbers. And always be ready, not the people who are watching things, but when you are the victim of something, and there's a person who's with you who may be a little child who can grab the phone and videotape something. They're the child now. One of the mothers, they pull them to the side. You might not be as strong as the next man, but while one person is going to get help from some of our brothers, notice I didn't say the police, you can capture them, capture the license plate, look at everything. And one little tip on a psychological level before I go that will help. As you're walking the street, as you're somewhere maybe by yourself or even with your children or a group of people, notice things around you. Actually look at it, process it in the brain. Don't just let it go by, because you won't remember it as easy. Under your breath, if you see a red Camaro go by and it has a funny license plate and it says some HUN, you can remember the hun. You said, man, there's a red Camaro over there with HUN, hun, like honey, hun. Now you remember it now if something comes up later on where and you're like, yeah, I remember that. And you thought of honey or you thought of hun. Little tricks to remember. And your mind can forget them, but it won't forget them when you ask to recall. That's like in report writing and law enforcement. Those are the kind of things you want to remember to have a better recall. And you throw it away, but you'll remember it. You see what I mean? So anyway, I know you got to go. Thank you both so much. And
appreciate it.
Yes. I'll be looking for Queen Nefertiti within the next few minutes to see if we can come on. It may be 5 minutes, might be 30 minutes. I'm not sure, but we're coming back on, and then we're going to do some stuff into the night. But thank you, sisters, and hook it up where we can do this again later on or whenever she can come back on. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.